Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. And this is a paid request for Walker. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. To be pretty much any type of video. And Walker wanted me to react to a ranking he made of Jim Carrey films. Now, of course, this is his ranking, so I'm sure there'll be stuff I disagree with, but again, it's his opinion, and he wanted me to react to it. And again, if anyone wants to request any videos like this, or movie review, video game playthrough, topic, whatever the case, feel free. The links are down below in the info box if you wish to. So, I'm just going to go down his list. 11 movies of the Jim Carrey films he's seen. 11, Dumb and Dumber 2. I don't care for these bottom two movies, but I guess you can get some mild enjoyment out of how crappy the movie is. I actually agree with that. Dumb and Dumber 2 is the worst Jim Carrey film I've seen. I do not like Dumb and Dumber 2 at all. At all. I think it's horrendous. I think it's a terrible sequel that's not funny. I think the jokes feel a bit more mean-spirited. I don't think Jeff Daniels and Jim Carrey, I don't think did well in that at all. I think they were too old for the part. I think they have been away from those parts too long. They didn't really know how to act them appropriately. And the jokes I just didn't think were funny. I thought they really pushed more into the shock, gross humor. Because one of the scenes popular in the first film is the toilet scene with Jeff Daniels, which honestly is a scene I never cared about. I would just fast forward that scene. What was funny was the misunderstanding the most obvious things. Like Jim Carrey seeing a paper about landing on the moon, and it's like, wow, we landed on the moon. Those fun misunderstandings to me were the funnier parts of it. And as crazy as it was, it still felt like it felt more heartfelt. Sequel, not so much. Number 10, Ace Ventura 2. Couple of solid laughs, but that's it. I disagree. I like Ace Ventura When Nature Calls. I liked it quite a bit. Might be my top 5 favorite. I mean, I do quite like Ace Ventura 2, so I disagree with that. I mean, the beginning alone, doing a cliffhanger parody, I thought that was pretty genius. So I disagree. Number 9, The Grinch. I'm not a fan of The Grinch. Was never a fan of how The Grinch stole. I like the Boris Karloff voiced original. This, I know Jim Carrey being very zany and yeah, some interesting makeup effects, but I just found Jim more annoying in that movie than anything. And I'm watching the story going, I'd rather just watch the original. It's the same story, only with Jim dialed up to 11, and I don't know. There are times he could do that. It could be fun, like Ace Ventura, but here I don't know. It wasn't. I just didn't care for it. Number 8, The Mask. It's bits for me. There's great things, and there's humor that's extremely stupid and weird. I agree with that. I don't mind The Mask, but I don't love it. Like that year, I liked Dumb and Dumber and Ace Ventura a lot more. The Mask has some good stuff. I think there's some fun special effects. I think I like Jim as Stanley Ipkiss. When he's the Mask, again, it's like the Grinch, where it's turned up to 11, and at times, when it's consistent, it could be a bit aggravating, and just, you want to turn him down a little bit. I don't know what it is. Number 7, Bruce Almighty. I like that film. I have issues with it, in particular with the third act. I thought it's trying to be more overly sentimental, and there wasn't as much laughs. It seemed like there's a lot more you could have got out of him having the powers of God, but I thought the first half I thought was better than the second half, but I don't mind that film. Number 6, Yes Man. I disagree with it being that high. I definitely think Ace Ventura 2 and The Mask and Bruce Almighty are better than Yes Man. Yes Man I found very forgettable. I find that a very forgettable film. Number 5, Dumb and Dumber. I put it in my top 3. I love Dumb and Dumber. I'll probably put it my second favorite after Ace Ventura. Like, my favorite would be Ace Ventura Pet Detective, and my second favorite would be Dumb and Dumber. So, but yeah, I love Dumb and Dumber for the for the reasons I hate Dumb and Dumber 2. Imagine the opposite in a good movie. That's Dumb and Dumber 1. So 4, Me, Myself, and Irene. I like that film too. I don't mind Me, Myself, and Irene. I thought that had some good entertainment. I like his two personalities. I think when he's sweet as Hank, and he's fun and being an asshole as Charlie. Just how sadistic his mouth can be. It was kind of fun to see Jim play that route. Just not all the time he gets to do that kind of role, so it felt a bit refreshing. Was it Renee Zellweger? I don't mind her. It's cool to see Robert Forster. Yeah, I like that one. That's probably the last Farrelly Brothers movie I enjoyed. Ace Ventura Pet Detective number 3. That's cool. That's up high. That'd be my number 1. I saw that so many times on VHS. From the opening with the package to Randall Tet's cop being pissed and Jim looking at the mirror of the car. Assholes are closer than they appear. Can you give me a push back there, pal? I have exorcised the demon. See, that's Jim Carrey turned up, but it just, for some reason, that was never annoying to me in that movie or the sequel. Maybe just that type of behavior from him. And, like, even though he's going crazy, there are times he's still pretty quiet or pretty... I don't know, just some, like... I just really like that character he plays. I think the crying game sequence is still funny to this day. I'm sure it's un-PC to people, but I still think it's pretty funny. The usage of that song and why it's used. Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is a man. Number 2, Liar Liar. That'd be in my top 5. I do quite like that film. Again, at times it gets a bit too over sentimental. But I thought it meant well. It was a good gimmick. What if a lawyer couldn't lie and he had to win this case? That was definitely the best parts of the film. You know, the stuff with, his kid was okay and him getting his family back was okay, but the stuff with him being a lawyer, all the stuff that goes on in the courtroom, beating himself up in the bathroom. I'm kicking my own ass, do you mind? Fine with the pen. The goddamn pen is blue. That stuff was the best and most hilarious parts in it, so that would definitely be a top 5 for me. So, I mean, when I look at your top 5, and his number 1 is The Cable Guy. Probably a top 100 movie for me, or, for him. I like The Cable Guy. I think The Cable Guy's fun. I didn't think it was as bad as people make it out to be. There are films I like more in Jim's catalog, but that would definitely be my top 10 of Jim Carrey. I like The Cable Guy. I thought he worked well with Matthew Broderick. It was a different side of Jim we got to see. His lisp I didn't find too annoying. It was an interesting dark comedy. Definitely a risk at the time. It's also a very good Blu-ray because there's a commentary with him, Ben Stiller, and Judd Apatow because they all worked on the film. It's the only commentary Jim Carrey has done. So that's definitely an interesting listen because of that. So, but I mean, in your top 5, Dumb and Dumber would be in my top 5. So would Ace Ventura. So would Liar Liar. I mean, I guess if I ranked from these, now obviously he has not seen all of them because The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is not on the list. That's a great movie. The Truman Show is not on the list. That, to me, is a great movie. So there's no Truman Show. There's no Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. No Batman Forever, which I think is okay. What else? Those films he did I don't remember, like Fun with Dick and Jane, I don't remember. Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2. I like those films. I mean, if I include those, I'd probably go 1, Ace Ventura Pet Detective, 2, Dumb and Dumber, 3, Sonic 1, Sonic 2, I'll put them together, 4, Liar Liar, and 5. No, 4, Ace Ventura When Nature Calls, and 5, Liar Liar. But of his list, Liar Liar, Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber would be in my top 5. Ace Ventura 2 would be in my top 5. So I disagree with him on Ace Ventura 2. I agree with the Grinch and Dumb and Dumber. I agree with Dumb and Dumber 2. Dumb and Dumber 2 being last, I perfectly agree with. The Grinch being low on the list, I agree with. The Mask being low on the list, I agree with. Yes Man, I would put lower. Ace Ventura 2, Dumb and Dumber, I would put higher. But I mean, not a bad list. Not a bad list. Again, I like The Truman Show. That would be on that list. I like The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Let's say, okay, if Sonic 1 and 2 didn't... If you don't put... Okay, if they don't count because he didn't star, like, films he starred in. If it's films he starred in, my top 5 would probably be Ace Ventura Pet Detective, Dumb and Dumber, The Truman Show would be number 3, Liar Liar would be number 4, Ace Ventura When Nature Calls would be number 5, and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind would be a close number 6. But anyway, not a bad list at all. So, thanks once again, Walker. I appreciate it. Makes me want to rewatch Ace Ventura, both Ace Ventura films again. Thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.